imali ngaphansi kwamatrasi. Lo mnikazi imali ngaphansi kwamatrasi must be sacked. If all people are afraid of Ramaphosa, we are not afraid of Ramaphosa. We will never be afraid of Ramaphosa. If Zandile Kumete must step aside, if Zolim Kiza must step aside, equally Cyril Ramaphosa must step aside. If the leadership is afraid, they are afraid because they know something. There is a prison from Section 7. Some of us have no money. Some of us don't want any tender. Some of us don't want anything. We want to defend our land, and our land we shall defend. We will never be intimidated. We will never be afraid. You can investigate us. You will find nothing because we are not corrupt. We are peasant. We are speaking for a just cause. And the just cause says, okwenzeka right, akwenzeka left. Okwenzeka left, akwenzeka right. Uma uhluleka ukwenza yekela.
Comrade, iqiniso ekufuna silivume ukuthi ukhongolose ulezi inkinga. And le inkinga zika khongolose comrade ezikhona zidale ukuthi ukhongolose aqale alahlekelwe ukwesekelwa abantu baseNingizimu Afrika. Comrade, abantu abayizondi ANC bayithanda, kodwa indlela esiyiphethe ngayo thina, ikakhulukazi thina abaholi, indlela esilwa ngayo, abantu balahlekelwe ithemba kukhongolose ngezenzo zethu lokuyiphatha kwethu.
Welcome everyone to another epic episode, right? Thank you for joining me. I want us to talk something very interesting, right? You saw the video where the ANC member is accusing President Ramaphosa of some corruption, right? When you hear that video, you may have an idea that that member is wrong. Maybe the approach that he's taking, just calling out the president in public like that, right? So we know about the issue of phala. What did that ANC member said? He was raising a very good point when it comes to the issue of phala, because he said that if ANC recalled Zandile Kumete, recalled Zweli Mkhize, recalled Ace Magashule, and Zizi Godwa, Nosiviwe Mapisa Ngakula, the ANC recalled those people because they were charged with corruption, right? So they needed to go to clear their names, and the ANC, maybe if they were found innocent, they will be retained to their positions, or the ANC will give them another position, they will return to the leadership, right? So because of some allegations that some of the leaders had, the ANC, remember, it was the one that formulated the step-aside rule, that if you have maybe some accusations of corruption, you will need to just step aside and allow others to come in and lead. But now the president now has had allegations now. How many years it has gone? So that is why when I made another video, I did signify that this step-aside rule of the ANC, it was the weapon formed to take out those who disagreed with the president and those who are speaking ill against the president, to take them out, but not the president himself, right? So the member there is angry, is gun firing at the Ramaphosa, telling him where to get off, and to say that if the step aside applied to other comrades, you're not different. It must apply also to you. You must be out, right? So we see some cracks now. They're starting to creep in the ANC, right? That is why it is said that when you are an ANC president, you are only strong on the first term. It was Julius Malema who said that. says on your second term, that's where you become weak, right? So when these people from the Youth League, now they start to talk against the president, now more people will start following, talking bad about the president, attacking the president, because now the ANC is in this phase of preparing for what? For the new leadership to take the ground and to start working, right? So now another faction will be coming to the ANC and another separation will be happening, because there are those ones, like remember what happened with when Jacob Zuma came in. There was COPE, the members that formulated COPE later, created COPE, who were siding with Thabo Mbeki, wanting Thabo Mbeki to continue being the president. And when Jacob Zuma took over, they were unhappy. Then they resigned from the ANC and opened their own party, which was the Congress of the People, COPE by then. So we know that there will be another breakaway in the ANC, because when these lefties, they are coming in and they are increasing in opposing the president, Ramaphosa slowly but surely will be losing grip, will be losing power, and his influence in the ANC will decrease. Even though it is said that he's using money, it will decrease, because the comrades will just look at when is the next train coming that is moving, and they will leave the station there and take a ride to a new train that will take them to Jerusalem, right? So Ramaphosa now will become weak and he will be attacked, and these attacks will call for his removal, right? So I don't see Parliament impeaching Ramaphosa anytime soon, because Ramaphosa, you know what he did? Ramaphosa, the fall of Ramaphosa will not happen outside the ANC. The fall of Ramaphosa will happen within the gates of the ANC. The fall of Jacob Zuma never happened because Julius Malema was busy shouting, "Pay back the money." It was Julius Malema, as he's claiming to defeat Jacob Zuma. Okay, I disagree with Julius Malema when he says that he defeated Jacob Zuma and Jacob Zuma lost the presidency, or he was kicked out of the presidency because of him. It was not because of him. It was because of the NEC of the ANC. They are the ones that Ramaphosa rushed and influenced the cabinet and the NEC to have a meeting with Jacob Zuma and to give him his retiring package early before he finished his term, right? So the ANC recalled Jacob Zuma, not because Julius Malema defeated him, right? But according to the CIC, he's having this idea that Jacob Zuma defeated him. Every time when he speaks, he utters the things, "I've been defeating Zuma," right? EFF members, please tell me on the section below, when did Julius defeat Jacob Zuma? Because even the payback, the money issue, Zuma never paid back because Julius and his members in parliament were shouting, "Pay back the money," and hitting the tables. He paid back because Advocate Tulima Tonsela made some recommendation to say that he spent it, there was money that was spent there, and that money will need to be returned, right? So it's more like the court issued a law to say that there's some benefits that were done illegally, return this amount of money, right? And Jacob Zuma, he first resisted, but later he returned the money. Now for this man, for him to start being relevant, he will need to act now. He will need to act now as a person who will take charge of the ANC. He needs to be strong. He needs to be active. This thing of deputy president being silent as if they are dead, like they are buried long ago, they don't exist. Because the ministry of a deputy president here in South Africa is one of the useless ministries ever. It's the same thing that the CIC says about the deputy presidents. The deputy president of the ministers, the deputy ministers, the deputy ministers. Those ministries are just there to occupy some seats, They are very useless. And one of the ministries that we have here in this country that is so useless is the ministry of the deputy president. Because our deputy presidents are more like they are on vacation. We don't see them being active on the ground and doing some serious stuff as a president. Because when you're a deputy, it does not mean that you are not a president. You are a second in command. You are a president. And you must show us ethical that you are a credible and reliable leader who knows his story. But when now you are quiet, you just attend parties or you just attend gala dinners, you just attend rallies and you keep quiet. We don't see you do anything. You don't see you helping the poor. You don't see you doing some government activities. We don't see you building any new infrastructure, RTP houses, building roads. You are not active. You are just there as a name that you are our deputy. That is why, let me tell you something shocking. Many people here in South Africa, they don't know even who is the deputy president, even the name of the deputy president, because the deputy president is in the shadow, is in the back. And as Ramaphosa will now be losing power, if Paul Mashatile really wants to be the president, he must take over. But now, because I don't know, you ANC leaders too much scared of Ramaphosa. Ramaphosa is the most powerful president in terms of protected in the ANC, in all the presidents. You know, Jacob Zuma, they used to criticize him. Thabo Mbeki used to be criticized. You understand? Okay, Nelson Mandela, he left early. Okay, I don't know, because me, I was young. Maybe if I was there at the time, I would have known. I would have known how did the elders deal with the young Mandela, right? But even the stewards of the ANC, the elders, the pioneers, they don't criticize President Ramaphosa. Ramaphosa knows how to play his cards. Like, everyone is dead silent. Since Ismail Rajule was kicked out, everyone obeyed. There was order in the house, right? But then young people, they will start calling Ramaphosa out because there's a faction of the ANC, especially in the young. The old ones are quiet because they don't want to be out in parliament. They don't want to formulate the part of the GNU. They don't want to be kicked out on the positions of being ministers. So they are quiet, right? But now those ones who are not benefiting in that manner, they will be starting to galvanizing themselves and calling out Ramaphosa. And you know, Ramaphosa have done so many crimes, and they will name them one by one, and they will go through the list, right? So for likes of Paul Mashatile, they will have to start planning now, because now the ANC needs a new regime to take over. Ramaphosa's time is already out. He has finished his second term already, right? But if our Paul, they are still under the shadow of Ramaphosa, then it means that the next leaders of the ANC are weak, all of them, right? You must be bold. You remember what Ramaphosa did to Zuma? Zuma had to be recalled because Ramaphosa understood the game, that his time is finished. It's time to Pagama Ramaphosa. It's a time. Then our Paul, they need to read the room, right? Cyril Ramaphosa, look at how the country is responding to him. Not everyone hates the president, but most people are not happy with President Ramaphosa. So then, if many people are not happy about President Ramaphosa and you are Paul Mashatile, make yourself a star, a bright, shining star. Convince those people who are not happy with Ramaphosa to choose you as the leader. Make the people to choose you. Because the next thing that will happen, you'll want to be the president, and Abantu, they will say, okay, then Wena, who are you? What have you done? You've been the deputy president and you've done nothing. Fuck all. You've done nothing. You just proven to people that you are useless. You don't need to pull that stance. Be active. You need to be active as Paul Mashatile to show that you are a credible leader who will lead the ANC and you are fearless. People trust a person who's fearless, a person who can stand his ground. You remember how Jacob Zuma rose against Thabo Mbeki? Well, Thabo Mbeki was very influential. But Jacob Zuma stood against him. And Thabo Mbeki, you remember what he did? Fired Jacob Zuma. Because he was the disturbance. While Thabo Mbeki was cruising nicely, disturbed the peace, then fired the man. So when he fired the man, then Jacob Zuma took his stand. Then he gained followers. Because there were people like, no, but it's not fair. It's not fair to be treated like this. It's not fair. Then he started to support Jacob Zuma. Then he gained some ground. Then it was clear that him and former President Thabo Mbeki were not in agreement. They were now the opposition inside the one organization called the ANC. So Paul Mashatile, is either you wake up or you will be kicked out. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, support this channel, and please don't forget to press the super thanks button, and please don't forget to leave your comment on the section below, and please don't forget to leave your subscription. Until we meet again, and I'm out.